How y'all doing, Los Angeles? All right. I'm TK.
And I'm Gabrielle.
And I don't know, we don't have a fun name for each other. We are the duo.
Yeah, it's just us two.
But we're friends. And this is a transparent look at the glow up. Our careers have been growing together, separately, alongside each other, adjacently.
Right, and it's kind of like our Twitter DMs and text conversations on the stage, basically, and hopefully it can help some folks in the room and just, maybe it's like a therapy session for us, but
I think
we'll
so.
see.
So we're gonna just get into it and talk about the different ways that we can help each other in the community. We're talking about each other as women of color.
Yeah.
But honestly, you can apply this to your group of people, right? Every group has the group of homies. And sometimes the group chat is lit, and sometimes everybody has similar things in common.
Yeah.
And we need to let each other know about hazards.
Yeah, and sometimes shit's not good, and that's also
job.
what the group chat is for.
Yeah.
So it's all about navigating the goods and the bad, the highs, the lows, with the supportive network around you and what it looks like to build that out.
Because we need each other.
We do.
So, shall we
get to it?
First step.
Yeah, so when we thought about this, it was like, we met like a little over a year ago, right? And so what does it look like to kind of find your person? Specifically for us here in this audience and here at this festival, it's about in the podcasting industry. So what does it look like to find someone? It's not like, I'm gonna walk up to you in the front row, you're my person, I got you, and you're gonna be with me for the next year. This was a very organic relationship. And so TK is for sure my person, right? And so I came into this industry coming from graduate school. I had worked in politics before, was studying public policy, and I happened to meet TK at a conference, and I was like, let's stay in touch, right? And I wanted to sort of just learn from her. I didn't know what that looked like, because she was in New York, I was in Michigan. But I think one of the main takeaways from like our early sort of like budding friendship, our budding sort of like work colleague, whatever that word is, colleague shit, you know? Was staying in touch. It was like the follow-up email, right? And when I found myself in New York, it was reaching out ahead of time, making myself available to come to her. At the time, she had her booming 3 times a week morning show. And I was like, can I just come and listen and to kind of be in your presence, and not even having an ask, but making sure I was really clear about the follow-up, really clear about the ask, and just making myself available.
And I think what I appreciated about that most was it was not, can we meet for coffee? It was not, can I pick your brain? It was, where can I come meet you that you are doing your thing? So I can just be a fly on the wall, and then maybe we'll talk later. Right? She made it easy for me to say, yes, come through. Right? So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I think that was the key to it, because when you get like those pick your brain and coffee thing, there's nothing more, it turns me, like, that's a turn off,
it's a weird one.
Sorry, it's a turn off. Like, come with that clarity, make it easy, you know, to meet. So, like, that's the first step, the meeting.
I would agree. I think we always even have someone we can hear
have a clip from our friend.
We brought other folks with us on the stage.
Verilyn is one of my people. She's a producer at WNYC. Actually, and also you don't have to just have one person. I have many people, and at every single part of this story that is our lives, we have people that usher us through.
Correct.
And most of the people in my personage are people of color and women.
Same. Mine are all women of color holding me down.
So let's hear from Verilyn.
I first interned in WNYC's newsroom when I was in college, around 2006. And, you know, the newsroom was predominantly white, and
all right.
Okay.
It's all right, but I'll read it.
I first interned in WNYC's newsroom when I was in college, around 2006. And, you know, the newsroom was predominantly white, and I just remember feeling very discouraged. Not because of my ability, but more just thinking about my possibilities within this career, within this field, making audio, making radio. And this was definitely before the onset of podcasting. And I would say that it took a mentor of mine telling me about Michelle Martin and Farai Chidea and Michelle Norris and women that were already thriving in this field, because, you know, you can't be what you can't see. And so I think my community has, on a very practical level, gotten me jobs and gotten me money that would allow me to actually pay my bills. But then also just gotten me to think about the possibilities and to dream my dreams and to go after them and to feel strong in my expertise and my perspective and in the things that I value and being able to bubble those things up to the surface.
That was pretty perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have to be talking anymore, but all right.
Yeah.
But I think after the meeting with like Verilyn, with me and you, it comes with developing.
Yeah.
I met Verilyn, actually, our relationship goes back and forth.
Yeah.
So we met in that first part of podcasting that hadn't hit yet. We were, she came from WNYC as a radio rookie.
Okay.
And she was looking for experience on live radio. And we met at WBAI, and I was her person first.
Wow.
Then she became my person when I was entering professional podcasting.
Yeah.
And she was like, I have this show that,
She's the plug now.
you could get your chops up on in terms of that. So she became my plug. So we had a back and forth personhood.
Yeah.
And so I had to hit her up to talk about this. But then developing the relationship, what does that look like, Gabby?
Oh, gosh. And I think that kind of takes us to our next point as well, right? So thinking about what it looks like. So you found your person, you found your people, you found like, we kind of use tribe and squad a lot, but you found the crew of people that you kind of trust. You're navigating this space with people you can go to when you need advice, right? And so as you start to kind of like level up within your career, next slide, thinking about what does it look like to sort of develop these networks that people can actually land the jobs they need, but also as you're navigating that interview sort of like process, you're thinking about negotiations. I think so much of what you and I really bonded over is like we were going through a lot of the same shit at the same time, but me, it was like coming in as a newbie to the industry and me kind of like, TK, like, what do I ask for? Like, what are appropriate rates? Because y'all know Air just updated the thing, thank God, recently. But for a minute, it was looking at 2013 dates. Like, how do you kind of like translate that into 2018, early 2019 pay, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about like, do I need to get some lawyers? Like, but also thinking about like, I heard X, Y, and Z about this organization or this company. Is it really as bad as I heard? Is the management as crazy? So it was like, thinking about how to develop these things, but like not sort of taking over all of your time, right? It was making sure I was very clear and I think intentional about the time I was asking TK or other persons in my life for, right? But it was also like, you're starting to develop a friendship, and so how do you manage and balance the friendship alongside this budding kind of career relationship you all are working on as well?
We would literally take off our hats. Like, we would like go, okay, we're talking about this thing, this conversation is for that. Hang up the phone. Call you in 2 days. Girl, tell me about this dude you went on this date with.
Oh, yeah,
right?
that'd be
like,
fun.
There's like different hats
but it was very
that we
clear,
wear.
though.
Yeah.
And like, there's even now, as you guys know, we work together on Here to Slay. Like, I was in New York, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, and I wanted to see TK or whatever, catch up, and we made it very clear. I was like, this is not a non-Here to Slay work. Like, we about to just have a boozy brunch and get lit. It was, it was a mess, actually. We were there till it closed. But it was like, it was great. But we didn't talk anything about work. And I think as you're developing the relationship, it's also making sure that it's a two-way street. It's checking in to see, how you doing? How's therapy going? How's so-and-so? How's your mom doing, right?
Yep.
Like, how's the new apartment in Brooklyn? You happy to be back in BK? Like,
I am.
I know. We know. But it's like balancing that, checking in, and actually like, valuing you as a friend. And I think I have this with Beth Mendoza, who's here. I don't know where, there she is. That's my girl here in LA. But there's other folks like to the side and front and kind of coming up behind me that I kind of try and balance that. It's not with everybody, right? Because everybody doesn't fit these multiple roles in your life. But the folks who do, you have to really treasure it and really find a way to be balanced with it, I think.
And I think what happens to us as we grow and we get to know each other, and even at conferences or gatherings and whatnot, I love my producer friends. And we'll have, it'll be someone's birthday and we'll all be there. And guess what? We're talking about work. And it's like, damn, can we not?
Yeah.
And that's part of the boundaries too. And that's part of maintaining a relationship.
Yeah.
Because if the only thing I know about you is your job, then I don't really know you, right?
Yeah.
Do I really trust you with these things that I'm about to say?
Right.
And we're giving each other the tea and whatever, but there's other stuff behind this conversation about pitches and negotiations and stuff that color our decision makings that have to do with our real lives, that it's nice to like put down the show stuff and talk about real shit for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hear from Beth.
Yeah, we are. I mean, you're not gonna get up. We got you.
Leveling up.
Hi, my name is Beth Mendoza, and I'm a freelancer from and based in Southeast Los Angeles. Some advice that I would offer to freelancers is to build community. It's important to have your crew of unofficial coworkers who can troubleshoot story ideas and projects, but also just be able to text them and say, hey, I'm having a shitty day. Especially when you wake up and just lay in bed, watching the sun come up, and you don't want to check your phone because it may be another pitch that got rejected or someone saying your rate is too high. You need your people to remind you of your worth and that your craft is needed in this world. Another piece of advice is recognizing that opportunities are just that, opportunities. And if they don't align with your goals, then just take them as affirmations that you're doing something amazing, but you don't have to take the gig, and you can pass them to one of your homegirls. And lastly, celebrate those affirmations, the wins, and the losses. You gotta trust the reroute.
Yay,
That was
thank
good.
you so much.
Ooh, I like that.
She took us to church. Come on, Isabeth.
Thank you.
And I think that one thing you said that was key, Isabeth, was if you don't get the thing, it's affirmation. Like, yo, I failed up so hard in 2018.
Yeah.
When the fails are name brand fails, child, you're doing it right.
Yeah, we
You are
celebrated
doing it
those.
right.
We
celebrated some
those.
name brand
They'd be
fails.
like, girl, but you had that meeting though. We were so excited about the upward fails, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think especially what Beth is saying, I mean, especially me now as an independent producer, TK is at Glitch full time, but obviously, has some consulting jobs and does a lot of workshops, throughout the year. I mean, I think it's a really unique place to be when you're kind of cultivating this relationship and you don't have a traditional, whatever that means for you, right? But for me, I think of like an office, somewhere I physically go Monday through Friday, or like I have a team that I know where they're located. You know what I mean? Like that kind of whole thing. I don't have that anymore. So this kind of network that I have built up around me, whether it's New York, LA, or anywhere in between, it's almost crucial to my survival, because I'll be honest with you all, as an independent, there are some lonely ass days. I think I was talking to Juleka and Hugo Williams about this yesterday. I'm learning how to balance like being like a new kind of company owner, being an independent producer, and like trying to still be around people when everything I do is so remote. So this network is kind of crucial to your survival, almost to your mental health, but also to that paycheck as well.
Amen.
Yeah.
Speaking to that paycheck,
Yeah.
what we talk about internally and what we talk about with other people that like trust us and that we trust is negotiation,
money,
pitches,
money,
interviews,
all
and
the
like all the stuff that you got from all of the other conference, workshops. Yes, we talk about that, but we go, when you find your people and you're in the real group chat, there's the level of talking about it from, is this is this place toxic, right? When I was failing up in those, job opportunities, some of them I ended up so happy that I didn't get because of the way that they ended the relationship, right? And I was like, wow, I'm lucky.
People showed their ass, basically.
And they showed their ass, and I'm able to say to my trusted people, listen, these people show their asses, and you don't want to see it.
And I got a list of that too.
Facts.
So we do that, and we talk very candidly about pay too. Like, I have, for instance, I had a new client proposal this week I had to submit, and before I submit it, right, I trust my numbers, I trust my estimation. I'm looking at the air guide, I'm looking at work it guide, but I'm gonna bounce it to TK and be like, can you check these numbers,
and not just to me, you bounced it to a couple people.
I bounced it to Kelly as well, who she's not here with us today. She's our other co-producer on the show. I was like, Kelly, and she's a white woman, so I was like, if any,
Listen,
give me the
right
realty.
prices.
Is this the money that you're making, or like should I be going higher? You really got to have a white woman in your corner to kind of figure that out too.
Facts.
So Kelly was crucial. Kelly was like, girl, you need to go up a little bit. I said, thanks, Kelly. But it's like being able to trust folks, because you have to realize everybody does not care about you winning. And so I'm not gonna send that on a Twitter blast, like comment on these projected sort of like salary things I'm like, giving to a new client. Everybody doesn't wanna see you win. So when you have the people around you who are key, who you trust, you can bounce those kind of ideas off of them and get real feedback,
And I would say that we use each other to like break down if we're going for jobs.
Yeah.
And sometimes, listen, we know, if you are here and you're hiring and whatnot, we know y'all need to look at how you are asking people questions. Ooh. There's a lot of coded language in the hiring process, and we know this. We're not, listen, we want the job, so we're not gonna flag you on that. Also, that's not our job to do. But we are telling each other internally. I went on this interview, and this third person asked me some shit that is frankly racist, sexist, it's some ist. And we talk to each other about that, so I'm here to tell you we know. there's that. Can we talk about feelings in terms of sharing some of this stuff? Which even when I'm talking to Gabrielle, even when I'm talking to Julia Furlan, even when I'm talking to my good friends, there's feelings of whatever, inadequacy, shame, not feeling like you're ready, and
imposter syndrome, like a mug.
Or even like low-key, I don't want to say jealousy. Is there like something less than jealousy? But like,
I don't know what that word, but I know what you mean. Where you feel some kind of way, but
I feel a way,
jealous.
But I want to help.
But
right?
I'm feeling some kind of way.
Yeah.
Like, why are they not asking me for it?
We've had that.
We've had that.
Yeah.
We have actually had that.
I felt a way.
Yeah, we've had some ways about each other.
That?
You started.
Okay.
I'm like, you started. You go.
Fine.
What was it? It was something though.
I mean, it was probably like I might have a different lens on it. So.
Oh shit. I mean, let me learn something.
You, my other like good homies that are younger than me, you all are rising at a rate that is faster than I could have ever imagined. Right?
Yeah.
So me and you, we're in the same job market.
Yeah, it's wild.
And my experience looks different. And also,
you got more experience. We'll just put it out there. You have way more years of experience than I do. But we be kind of in the same boat for some of the same jobs, though.
Facts, because
it's awkward. You're right. This has been the elephant in the room.
And but that's not us. It's not our fault. It's the fault. There's no fault. Whatever.
It's just awkward. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird shit. Yeah.
But you know who makes us feel a ways? And then we project it onto each other. It's people that don't take that experience that I have or that other people have seriously, right? Your experience as a community builder or a person that produces a podcast for your church or whatever, all that is valid, true, and real, right? When you break it down, what does that mean? You can manage a group of people. It doesn't matter if it was at your church. It doesn't matter if it was in your basement. Did you engineer that show? Does it sound good? Doesn't matter if it's free, if it has sponsors, or whatever the fuck ever, right? But a lot of these places make you feel like this stuff is not valid experience, and then we internalize that, and we're in the job market with people that are younger than us, and we don't know how to be better ambassadors for the community, right? So when we were talking, you were up for, you was up for some big money work, and I had no prospects at the moment, right? So I'm talking to Gabby, I'm depressed, and she's telling me, TK, just help me work this out, and I'm working through shit while she's telling me her good fortune, and I want to be a good ambassador to the community and help her. So I'm putting my shit to the side, right? Yeah. But then when we take off the hat and we put the friend hat on, I'm like, girl, I'm depressed, child.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes we had to space out our conversations because, like, I think this is the first time actually we've ever talked about this, but I felt it and I knew it. I was aware of it. But I was like, if it ever gets super awkward, she's gonna say something, I'm gonna say something. But I think it was this thing that we both acknowledged. Now, I think I felt some of the similar things that you're saying, right? So you're thinking about people who are younger than you in the same job market. I'm thinking about someone like me who transitioned out a completely different career. I mean, imposter syndrome, I think I probably wrestled with that every single day, maybe up until, I don't know, mid-July, like a couple months ago, if that, And that was because, again, like the way that we value what a producer is, what a producer is capable of doing is very skewed. And it really changes and it really sort of differs between organizations, between coasts probably and cities, but also between projects, right? And so getting the confidence in myself to say, hey, like I did 6 years in politics, I have an entire graduate degree, can write the hell out of blah, 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 kind of really don't like tape cutting, which don't tell anybody, right? So it's like, how do I kind of like embrace all the stuff that I love to do, right, that I'm good at and can keep growing at, but like still see myself as a producer when like the job market is saying like, you're not that. So, and then knowing TK, who does every fucking role possible, right? So I'm like, damn,
Listen,
TK does everything.
I've never met a job I didn't like, child.
Right, so she does everything of the process, and there's honestly are only certain parts of the process that I really enjoy doing, and that I do, and I'm lucky now that I can just focus on those things. So I think we had some feelings about different things about our relationship, which I'm glad you guys are letting us air out. You all today.
Listen, I mean, and this is it's a testament to like being able to speak on it and speak freely. So thank you for
But I think
listening.
it's a good transition to like thinking about how we think about passing the baton, right? So like because we're both have been aware of each other's like skill sets, expertise, and knowing what the other is interested in, like on a very genuine level. like for instance, when it was time for us here to say we had some reorganization that happened around like June or so, and we needed to bring in someone who was an executive producer consultant. And as much as I wanted to like take on all these roles at Here to Slay, right, it was like, this is really not my lane kind of thing. And when it was like, we need to find someone with X, Y, and Z, and I talked with Roxanne and Tressie, and it was like, okay. And we had a couple names, I put a couple folks in, 2 women of color, one of them being TK. But even when I came to TK about it, I was like, I think you could be a really great fit for this.
And I
said a struggle.
No.
She was trying to fight it. I'm like, what are you, and I had listened to my friend talk about wanting to sort of get experience with being an executive producer. And I'm like, why don't you just at least put your name in the hat, And she was like, I don't know, let me sleep on it. I'm like, what are we doing? I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
And it took a few days.
It did. It took me
a
like
while. It took
4
a little
days
longer than necessary.
to let you say that to them, to let you even boost me.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, here's like 5 more names before me.
She gave everybody else's name. I said, girl, I already gave them the names.
Y'all were all in the running to become America's Next Top Model.
Yeah.
Like, I was not trying to do it.
And what's crazy is when I had mentioned her name to them, we had like I remember exactly, we had a Sunday like morning call, and I was like, here are a few names, and I mentioned your name, and they were like, oh, we've heard of her. And I was like, oh, and I remember telling you, I was like, oh, they've like heard about you already. And so it's like, people start to know your work, right? Your work and your expertise speaks for itself. And then when you have folks who are able to sit at the table or be on that phone call to vouch for you, it's a world of a difference, But like encouraging someone who is ready to step into that light, like being that friend, but also being that colleague to be like, this is you got this. I'm not gonna take your shine, take this money to try and do it all, be Superwoman, because this is what you really excel at, and you're ready for this. And you was ready, and you are ready.
This is a big test. Let's hear from a new friend.
So when I think about how I want to empower the people I work with, specifically the women I work with, I want to empower them to make decisions, to speak up and own their ideas, take credit for their ideas, and do the thing that maybe, or the things that maybe they don't feel like they have the right to do or like the experience to do. I really like to empower people to try and to really jump into the deep end and do the thing messily and learn from it and keep doing it and make a mess and learn from it and make a mess and learn from it. It's like, make the thing that you want to make right now. There's not a really compelling reason to wait usually. And then, the other thing is like, I don't think we have to live in a world shrouded in bullshit. Like, I believe in shooting straight with each other. We don't always have to be nice. And I like to empower women to be themselves.
And that was Aaliyah Tavakolian. Yeah, you could give it up for her. She's an executive producer at Spoke. Hey, my Spoke friends, Spoke Media. And I met Aaliyah at Work It last year in New York, and we became friends. And since then, like, that was another thing, right?
Yeah.
She talked about empowering, validating.
Yeah.
We're here together as women and as women of color, as people in the LGBTQ community, in all groups, to empower and validate each other's experiences, right? Because we know culturally and historically what's behind that, right? Only you know your people, and you need to empower and validate them. And Aaliyah has been doing that for me since I met her last year, talking me up in rooms that I'm not in.
Work It's a great place for that. Work It's a good place for that, because so if we're gonna be honest, a year ago, I was interning actually at Crooked Media, like a graduate intern. I didn't have money to come to Work It, and I wasn't gonna ask, anyways, we'll go into it. But I wasn't gonna ask, oh, Mom, can I have, it was just like, you gotta be grown about this shit. Either you're going or you're not going, and whatever. And I remember telling TK, I'm like, I can get the flight out there, I've got housing. And TK was like, you know what, actually I have an extra sort of assistant badge, so you can come and get access to all of the opportunities here at Work It. And that's kind of like an example of empowering the people around you, right? So at that point, that was last October, I believe. Yeah. So we had a few months of a budding friendship, but she knew I was serious about really making this transition conversation. She knew I was like really about it. And so it was like nothing for me to sort of like, okay, I can accept that, and making sure that I was there. And getting to work it just opened up so many doors for me, if I'm being quite honest, right? Met Erica Clark at Spotify, and that really sort of like changed a lot for me, right? Reka Murthy as well. Just so many dope women of color that I got to connect with. And had that not been for TK being like, I got you, I have this extra thing, do you want to come and assist? I need help with X, Y, and Z. It really, really changed the game for me in a lot of ways. So like, that's an example of like, you know, empowering people who are coming up behind you, but also we talk a lot about empowering people who are like right next to you on the side of you. Issa Rae talks about that a lot, right? It doesn't have to be this like very vertical structure of like how you're kind of supporting and empowering. It can be the people who are right next to you. And so,
And boosting. And the awareness of passing a baton is the awareness of being able to receive it, right? Like, I know that like when she said that, oh, I need to get out there, and I'm like, okay, how can she come out to this thing? Well, I need a person's help. But like, can she make a slideshow, fam? Like, are you ready to receive these blessings? You gotta work for them too.
PowerPoint.
Like,
pretty good at
and if someone's putting you up for a job, just because we're women and we're women of color or we're LGBTQ, just because we're in the same affinity group, doesn't mean, or we met at a conference and shook hands, that I'm gonna vouch for you.
Say it again.
It doesn't mean that the person should vouch for you, child. Say it again.
Say it again.
It's facts. Like, yo, like, we have to be, this is all about being thoughtful in what we're doing, because we are asking each other to do an incredible amount of work. And it's emotional labor. It's like I'm thinking about another person, and another person is thinking about me, right? And it's like if Gabby fucks up, I fuck up, right?
Because that's that collective, whether you like it or not, right? Especially as Black women.
The world is looking at all of us.
And you go through all the groups, right? It's like one of you fucks up with that recommendation, they may never ask TK for another recommendation again. So it's like it all reflects, right? So it's like being ready, as we talk a lot about. It's like not just saying those words out loud, like affirming like what you want to sort of see for your career, your life, but being ready when those blessings, those gifts, those opportunities start to come down. You have to be ready to receive and ready to kind of like hit the ground moving.
Ask your, when you're asking for a reference, right? Like, can you be my reference or whatever? Are you able to do the job that you're going for? Because I'm not gonna lie just because we're homies, right? Can you do tape syncs? Can you cut tape? I will have you send me a link, child. Send me a link to a piece of your work or something. I can't just say like, oh, we cool and I'm gonna be your reference. You have to be able to receive the baton that I'm passing you.
Totally.
But however, on the outside, because we talking to everybody today, right? So shout out to the POC audio directory.
Yes,
clap it up
shout
for
out to them.
Because a lot
phenomenal
of folks, phenomenal resource. And also the people on Twitter, shout out to Renee of Broccoli Content as well from the UK, who's doing the same thing, but in the UK.
She was great. We had to find someone in London for Here to Slay, and like I was like, hey, can you help with this? And like on it. You have so many dope folks of color in the UK. Anyways, the network is growing.
The network is growing, the network is vast, but also as people that are hiring other people, and I have friends that are higher up than me and whatever. There are these tools for a reason, right? And sliding in our DMs or sliding in your Black friend, your one Black friend's DM or your one gay friend's DM ain't the way. It ain't gonna work, right? And saying, hey, do you know one human Black woman for this one human job, right? And I'm like, yo, there's a directory. And your job, we already made the work easy by collecting the names of each other.
A whole database.
Right? Like somebody else could have collected it, but we're already doing half the work for you by collecting it. So asking a person to give like, hey, like it's like it's also almost how it's formed. It's very like, no big deal. Can you just do like this extra layer of work? I'm like, no, you go to the directory. You get their names, you gather them, and you interview them. We are not hiring managers. But when we do recommend our friends, it's not because you asked us, it's because we want to. Because we know they could do it.
And they're
because
capable.
We believe in the thing. But none of this, like, if someone doesn't reply to your email about that, don't be sad. Don't be salty. They don't have time. The directory is there for a reason. Go through it. and do your own like interviews and stuff because we can't.
We just had to get that off our chest.
We just had to get
quick.
it off our chest. Yeah. So anything else in terms of passing the baton?
I think that's good.
Okay. What about doing you?
Oh. Well,
oh no, we don't have.
We're not really going to do us.
So how do you do you?
How do I
as we say on Here to Slay?
No, it's how do I help you do you? But how do I help me do me?
Just how do you do you?
Oh, that's you. Okay. How do I do me? I think just being honest about what I am available for. So I think especially as an independent producer, like setting clear boundaries, right? So whether that's just making sure like I have like the proper time blocked off on like, our calendar, where it's like, Gabrielle is not available for these hours, and there's not really an explanation needed, but it's like, this is my time to do other projects, other work, So I think setting boundaries around my personal time and my work time, I'm trying, I'm kind of a workaholic, as you know, so like I'll be up at all hours of the night doing all kind of stuff for the show, but I think it's been learning how to do that, and I have found myself, it's a lot healthier, right? I have a therapist, she's also really great. I sit outside for lunch sometimes and soak up the sun. Like, sometimes it's the small things, though, but it's also being really open with you all, like, hey, today's not a good day for me, or like, this week is really crazy. So I think the more honest you are with your colleagues, coworkers, who also maybe also be friends, I think it's just a better way to kind of move through this path and actually kind of excel in your own career.
And what are you doing for yourself that's outside of all these things, to push yourself forward?
Yeah, so I think it's like always sort of thinking about new resources I can take advantage of to sort of get sharper, whether it's with like, so I do the scripting for Here to Slay, so thinking about how I can get better with those kind of like, those really technical things that like I really enjoy doing, and thinking about how I can sort of parlay that into other clients. It's also working with other clients and other projects, and I started a whole company, so it's like that keeps me pretty busy.
I'm clapping you up. She started a company.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called the Woodshaw, and it launches in November, and I'm really excited about it. It was like a kind of a big FU to, these white boys who are out here just starting companies every 30 seconds.
Just out here, just
casually like sneezing and starting companies. I'm like, well, let me sneeze and start a company too. And so I did. So, that's keeping me really busy because I can just stretch my mind to think about so many projects I'm working with. You had me at Black on a really dope Black birthing docuseries that we're looking forward to launching next April for Black Maternal Health Week. Working with some new clients about some really dope podcasts, revamping and getting ready for new seasons. So all of that allows me to do research and dig into other kind of like conversations and just topics that I'm not always familiar with, but really stretching my mind. And so I guess that's what I do. I work a lot, You
work a lot.
I work too much, but it's good stuff now.
I guess I'll wrap by saying, piggybacking off of, first of all, again, set boundaries.
Yeah.
And don't be apologetic about that.
Yeah.
Speak it, right? Speak it into existence. Talk to your friends about it. Say the thing, because when you say the thing, you have to do the thing.
Yeah.
It's not just also saying it to the air and, oh, hey, universe, you done call. Did you catch that? Nah. It's universe plus homies, because accountability equals the glow up, right?
Yeah.
Keeping me and you and y'all accountable is really what gets the work done.
And checking in on folks. How's that thing going that you
child.
said you were going to be working on? Do you need some help with that? Like making sure you're accountable to your friends,
Yeah, accountable to your friends, accountable to yourself.
Yeah.
And I would say in terms of you just like sneezing and starting an LLC,
I like this
dude,
language around this.
Everything that I've done for myself or in the name of my thing, company, radio show, whatever, I do it because I want to show my work, right? Before I was allowed in these rooms, I had to show my work, and I did not wait to be allowed into the room. You see how this is my fourth day on the goddamn stage, y'all. I didn't ask for all this. I took it, fam. You know why they trust me? Also, shout out to Work It for inviting me. But you know why Work It trusts me, right? Because I have over 1,000 episodes that I have done live shit, right?
Yeah.
Because I have...
She got the work to back it up.
You Google the YouTubes. Google me on the YouTubes, and you can see me doing live speaking, public speaking. You know what I'm saying? The work begets work, and sometimes you got to show people your work.
Yep.
Right? So I want to be in audio drama. What did I do? Make one. Shit, that's it. Listen, fam, nobody's going to give this to you.
You got to take it.
The most come up that I've gotten was coming up for myself and doing for myself.
Same.
And other people seeing that and being consistent with that. So that's how I do me. And you could just, support me by following the journey and talking me up when I'm not around. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yo,
thanks, y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Work It.
Thank you.